news and you go, there's nothing really worth talking about, and then you click on the Daily Mail and you see the MLK tapes. Secret FBI recordings accuse Martin Luther King Jr. of watching and laughing as a pastor raped a woman, having 40 extramarital affairs, and they're under lock in a U.S. archive. So, the two phrases that I don't think would ever go together would be Martin Luther King Jr. and the Me Too movement. But as we get further into history, as we get further away from when he was unfortunately assassinated, we learn that this dude, he was a human. He was a man. He had a good message, but he has done some stuff. Anyway, so it says here that secret FBI tapes that accuse Martin Luther King Jr. of having extramarital affairs with 40 to 45 women even claim he looked on and laughed as a pastor friend raped a parishioner exist, an author has claimed. Now, here's the thing. Look, you got to have the evidence here. You can't just sit there, come out with a new book and go, that MLK laughed as a woman was raped in front of him. You know that, right? Like, that's this, people gonna need evidence on that one because that's damning. That is damning as all hell. That is a terrible damn thing, and you don't want that. You don't want that at all. And this says here, the civil rights hero was also heard allegedly joking that he was a founder of the International Association for the Advancement of Pussy Eaters. Who doesn't like? Come on, man! Like, oral's not a bad thing. Don't mock oral. Anyway, on an agency recording that was obtained by bugging his room, according to the sensational claims made by biographer David Garrow, Pulitzer Prize-winning author and biographer of MLK, writing in British magazine Standpoint. Garrow says that the shocking files could lead to a painful historical reckoning for the man who is celebrated across the world for his campaign against racial injustice. Well, hey, listen, here's the thing. He may have, first and foremost, I'm in no way making a joke here about the allegations about watching someone be sexually assaulted. I'm just saying that in the particular situation, what you have is a man who lives on is like this deity, this prophet in American history, especially when it comes to racial justice and fighting against racial injustice. And then, but at the same time, he's a man. He's a man. He's human. I mean, by that is he is human, and he is going to make a lot of mistakes. We know he plagiarized some speeches a while ago, and then this is like that he had extramarital affairs, and he was the founder of the International Association for the Advancement of Pussy Eaters. They're a 501c3. You can donate and get it right up on your taxes. Anyway, along with many U.S. civil rights figures, King was the subject of an FBI campaign of surveillance ordered by J. Edgar Hoover in an effort to undermine his power amid fears he could have links to the Communist Party. Now, we know that he was under surveillance. We know that. We know that the FBI did that. We know these things. So my question then becomes, if, and I just want to make sure there's a big if this is real, and if he did these things, why now? Why not release him then? Why not destroy him then? I mean, we're like J. Edgar's girders on too tight, what the hell? Anyway, so it goes on to say here that the FBI surveillance tapes detailing his indiscretions are being held in a vault at the U.S. National Archives and are not due for release until 2027. Well, we've got then about 8 years to go. If we've waited this long, 8 more years is really not going to happen. How many Marvel movies by then? A lot. Anyway, but David Garrow, the biographer of King, who won a Pulitzer Prize for his 1987 book Bearing the Cross about the Baptist minister, has unearthed FBI summaries of the various incidents. It says in the article to be published. It's not published yet, but it's coming. Apparently, just like MLK, 40 to 45 times at least. It tells how the FBI planted transmitters in 2 lamps in hotel rooms booked by King in January 1964. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover ordered the surveillance of King in an effort to undermine his power amid fears he could have links to the Communist Party. The intelligence service carried out surveillance on a number of civil rights figures and suspected communists and had an interest in smearing their reputation. And that's what I don't get. If they were going to do that, if that was the case, which, I'm not disparaging that it happened. I'm just saying, why didn't they do it? It's not like the government isn't vindictive at times. It's not like the FBI hasn't been vindictive at times. It's like, if you collect all this data and then do nothing with it, what was the point? Was it just blackmail footage later on? It was probably blackmail footage. And then once he unfortunately died, they're like, well, we got nothing here. We got nothing we can do. This isn't going to do anything. And then they're sitting on mountains and mountains and mountains of evidence or things that should be lost to the follies of time. So The recording from the Willard Hotel near the White House shows how King was accompanied by his friend Logan Kearse, the pastor of Baltimore's Cornerstone Baptist Church, who died in 91, along with several female parishioners of his church in the hotel room. Files claim they then discussed which women among the parishioners would be suitable for natural and unnatural sex acts, which basically means missionary and butt stuff. But the FBI document says when one of the women protested that she did not approve, the Baptist minister immediately and forcefully raped her as King watched. And that is god-awful, especially this next line here. He is alleged to have looked on, laughed, and offered advice during the encounter. See, I got it. You know what? For me to believe this, I have to hear the tapes. I do. I have to hear the tapes, 100%. FBI agents were in the next room and did not intervene. The following day, King and a dozen others allegedly participated in a sex orgy, engaging in acts of degeneracy and depravity. Again, lots of butt stuff. Probably lots of butt stuff. When one woman showed reluctance, King was allegedly heard saying that her performing the act would help your soul. Senior FBI officials later sent King a copy of the incriminating tape and called him an evil, abnormal beast, and his sexual exploits should be on the record for all time. The letter also suggested he should commit suicide before his wrongs were revealed to the world. King's philandering has long been suspected. However, Garrow, who spent several months digging through the archive material, said he had no idea of the scale or the ugliness of it, and his apparent indifference to the rape until he saw the files. He says it poses so fundamental a challenge to his historical stature as to require the most complete and extensive historical review possible. And isn't that kind of at the end of the day what this boils down to, right? Isn't that at the end of the day how this whole thing kind of plays out? Where you've got MLK Jr., a man who was, mercilessly stalked by the government trying to determine whether or not he was a communist, assassinated for his beliefs and used as a rallying cry to help with the civil rights movement. And here it is over 50 years later, and people still hold him in high respect and high regard. I mean, this is a situation where you look at it and you go, yeah, you got to produce the stuff here. I mean, the guy has made a lot of mistakes, but he's no longer around to defend himself. So is smearing his name in this particular regard, is that going to be worthwhile? And then there comes the question, and this is something that I saw pop up on Twitter. People are legitimately saying, well, are we going to take down statues? Are they going to not do MLK Day anymore? If this is as bad as he is alleging that it is, I could probably not see any good reason to celebrate that day anymore. And there are people out there who argue, well, the bad acts, the occasional bad acts of an otherwise good man with a good message and a good dream. Is that going to be it? Is that going to be is that something they want to do away with? And I mean, the argument that's going to stem from that is going to be insane. But the joke I made on Twitter when I heard about this was, I have a dream to tap that ass. 45 affairs. Apparently, in another article, he had said, suggested that his wife go out there and get the D. So he was a swinger. And I mean, here's the thing. Here's the way I view it, just so we're clear on this towards the end here. If it was a consensual thing, an open marriage between his parent, between his wife and him, I have no problem with that. To let their freak flag fly. Okay, I would really care. I mean, I care about the rape allegation, and I would really care if he was potentially sending nudes to underage women he met through Tumblr. Oh, sorry, that's pro Jared. Jesus. Anyway, your thoughts, your opinions, real, fake. I want to hear them. Let me know down in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.